What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, October 19th, 2016. Sorry about the little technical issue right there. We are not used to streaming on multiple sites yet, and we were trying to get everything set up to go for today's show. And as it turns out, you probably heard the outro theme, which is supposed to have already been queued. It wasn't. That's on me. I'm sorry. Like I said, new broadcast setup. Anyway, we're going to start with some awesome shit today. But first, I want to say hi to Nick. Nick, hi. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I mean, some really cool things are happening today. We found a house, as in me and John, or maybe we're thinking about buying. Yeah,
No,
cool things happening.
just no.
Why don't you want the house? Why don't
Okay,
you
well,
want
for
the
starters,
house?
I would post, like, I would show our wonderful, lovely, very incredibly patient viewers at home this house, but uh, again, technical issues are going to prevent that. So, no, we're not going to be showing the house right now, at least, but
It's on our page if
yeah,
you want to
well,
see it.
yeah, it
If
will
you
be
want to
on
see
our
it, it's
Facebook.
on our page.
But just to go ahead and acknowledge this, yes, this is our first day of actually broadcasting live to both YouTube and to Twitch. So if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, hi, you're going to see it live. If you're not watching us live, this will be edited, like the actual intro and outro will be edited in and it'll be posted to our Facebook page. So either way, you're getting to see us. It's awesome. Um, but to be honest, we can really only keep up with like comments on one section at a time. So just you know, don't freak out if you leave a comment and it takes a while to get back to us.
We will eventually answer. It might take us 3 years, but we'll get there.
It might take you 20 years, but I do want to remind everybody of one more thing. We added a new thing to our programming. It is called Anime Music Monday. It will be live only on Facebook. Now, the problem is if you miss the live broadcast on Mondays, like this past Monday was our inaugural one, if you missed it then, you don't get to hear it again. What was done was for about an hour or so Monday, about the time of our normal show, uh, Radio Tokyo essentially became a radio station rather. Now, a long time ago, way back when, before Nick even got involved, I used to host Radio Tokyo by myself, and that was believe it or not actually done on Yahoo Chat. And I know that sounds stupid and whatnot, but it was actually right around the time that internet radio was becoming a thing. And I'll be honest with all of y'all, uh, I was doing this before Sirius ever came out. So not by that long, but stuff like satellite radio before that became an official
So what
thing.
you
Radio Tokyo
so
was
what you're
doing it.
saying is what you're saying is that you missed out on an opportunity of immense proportion.
Yes, and another opportunity I missed out on was pre-tied neckties. In fact, I don't know, Nick, when did I come up with the idea for pre-tied neckties? That was what, 3 months ago,
Uh,
something like that.
I think so. I mean, I want people to understand that your crazy ideas can actually work, and
Yes, yes,
don't give up on them.
yeah. But really, I had the idea. It couldn't have been more than a year ago. Anyway, the idea was to go around to like estate sales and stuff like that and find people's old tie. Now, I don't talk about it on the show a lot, but I'm kind of a tie collector. I love neckties. I may not wear them every day. I probably should start because I've got enough to at least go for 2 weeks and not have to worry about ever wearing a new tie. Maybe 3 weeks, in fact. In fact, I bought some more yesterday. I went to a sale from a man here in town. He's 94. It wasn't an estate sale; it was a yard sale. But he had several old ties, and I bought some of them. Some of which are older than my house. Older than my house. I mean, old neckties, like the skinny cut ones that are polyester that were really popular in the 50s and 60s. I got a couple of those. Uh, so yeah, I had this idea, because a lot of my ties are ones that my dad has had that he never wore, or that he wore one time and never wore again. I inherited a lot of my grandfather's ties, and plus occasionally I'll find one at a yard sale or whatever. I like to get a tie. So I had this idea, because I like ties so much. I would like to know multiple ways to tie a tie. You know, now granted, I usually only wear like a four in hand or a Windsor knot most anywhere I go. But I had this idea, because I can tie like I don't know, 6, 7 different knots off the top of my head. Anyway,
And
the idea was,
this is actually this would be really useful for a lot of people because I can't tie a tie because of my disability, and my mom has a lot of trouble tying a tie for me. So I could use something like that.
yeah. And see, the idea was to get these ties, clean them up, make sure they didn't have any fraying on them, if they had a pop stitch, fix the stitch and everything, and tie the tie and sell it online. Because wearing ties is now the it thing to do again, which is, I don't know why it's never been the it thing to do, but it was an idea, and I just never figured out a way to keep the tie tied. And motherfucking Van Heusen, the company that sells ties and shirts, actually it's just the in-house clothing for JCPenney. Well, JCPenney and now Kohl's apparently, they have recently started selling these kind of ties. So there went my wonderful idea of making money of pre-tying ties and selling them.
I mean, we could, sue them, maybe, possibly. It's the
I,
American
I
way, right?
could, I could, but honestly, there's nothing stopping me from doing it now, really. And I kind of have an idea of how to stop the tie, like from coming completely undone. So, there's nothing really stopping me from doing it. It's just it would not be, you know, something that you would ever find in the store because Van Heusen's already done it. But that's fine. Van Heusen can have this one, I guess. I don't know, but I've actually gotten pretty good at tying ties for other people. In fact, I have a friend who he essentially has no neck, like it's shoulders and then head. Like he has this straight up and down neck, and he's short and squat, and he doesn't wear a tie, because well, long story short, he never learned to tie one, and his mom cannot tie one, so he never wears a tie. So I promised him that I was gonna get him a tie and teaching, and he's like, "No, you're not gonna fucking do that." I said, "Yes, I am. You watch. I'm gonna teach you how to tie a tie." So when he recently graduated from, he was doing some college courses, and he's gotten his Master of Arts in history, and for his graduation, 2 new shirts and a necktie. And I taught him how to tie a necktie, and he wore it, and he was like he's never been a hugger, but he hugged me because it just made him feel so good. And it's the truth, having new clothes. Uh, Everybody knows it does for a lady, but for a man, it makes you feel like $1 million fucking to have like a new shirt and a tie, new shoes, whatever. You feel better, and it helped him to feel better and to have someone to tie for him, and yeah,
Oh yeah, I mean, when I got my business clothes for college, because we had to wear look professional on one day out of the week at least. It felt really nice. It felt really good. New clothes are awesome, definitely.
they are okay. But anyway, now that we've had our little fun here, I did promise something cool, and I don't know, Nick. Do you think we should hold off on the cool thing for a little while, or what?
I, I mean, which cool thing? We've got a house. We've got a movie trailer. We've got what else
No,
do we
no,
have?
no, no. There's no movie trailer today. What are you talking about? Movie trailers?
There is a movie trailer that came out today that I am
No,
so
no,
excited for.
no. What it was that I wanted to talk about, and which we'll get into in a little bit, is that cheese making episode we promised. Remember the cheese making episode?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we're totally making cheese today on Radio Tokyo.
yes, yes. Okay, okay. What cheeses are we going to make? We can't just make one cheese.
Well, we're gonna make I don't know, some mozzarella and
I feel like
yeah,
we need to do American because of the debate tonight. Um, let's see. Swiss is a classic. Pepper Jack's kind of interesting. Um, Gouda is a little bit fancy.
yeah. Nick, shut up. They're watching the trailer.
Um,
There are two types of beings in the universe: those who dance and those who do not.
I get it, yes. I am a dancer, Gamora is not.
You just need to find a woman who is pathetic, like you.
Thanks, buddy.
Do you need a hug?
No, no, I do not.
Oh, I thought I said no. You're welcome.
Surprise, everybody! There was a movie trailer today, and it was Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And Nick, you were telling me that you hated this trailer.
no, I was telling you that I have unbridled joy and enthusiasm and can't be more excited. It didn't really
Unbridled
show
anger
much.
and disgust. Got it.
I mean, it didn't really show much, but I don't care. The moment I heard that music and that beat and just the I was just happy. Like instantly my day was made. Like everything about the rest of the day can be really crappy. I don't care. There's Guardians of the Galaxy 2 coming out. It looks amazing.
But will it be amazing? That's the thing.
You know what? It will be because you know what Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is? It's a dancer and it's just as pathetic as me. So, you know what? It's going to be amazing.
Okay, if you say so.
And also, that's going to be my new terms of dating is if they are as pathetic as me and if they're a dancer. That this is a new guiding light in my life.
Okay, we'll go with that then.
I'm so excited.
Cool.
But, but, but,
I
but,
guess I'm excited for you.
I, I mean, it was so much fun. Like, it is literally the most fun movie I've seen in forever. I can't think of a movie that was more fun for me to watch or enjoy. I can watch Guardians of the Galaxy.
Dawn of Justice was more fun.
No. N- I don't think even you can actually genuinely believe that.
I believe that.
It was more fun.
What was more fun? Batman? Yes. Batman is always more fun than anything because he's Batman. Goddammit, he's Batman.
That dark, depressing, gray, bluish gray movie was more fun. That's what you're saying.
What child that you've ever met has ever wanted to be Peter Quill?
A lot of children now. A lot of children.
No.
I'm, I'm just saying, on the basis of more fun, Guardians of the Galaxy is probably the most fun movie I have ever seen.
No.
Out of every movie
You're
I've ever
wrong.
seen. Ever.
You're lying.
You're just hating on it because it's Marvel.
Not true.
Really?
Yep.
There is a raccoon with a gun and a tree and
No.
spaceships and an assassin and just the music and the
No.
dancing and
No.
the hilarity
No.
and
China.
it's so organic and fun and
Huge
funny
China.
and what?
I said huge China. Look, I apologize for mentioning China all the time, and I'm sorry that my microphone was cut on. It's actually not working.
Right. Anyways,
Anyways, we're gonna move on, and because there's some goddamn Nick. Okay, for those of you who are keeping track, we're 2 weeks away from the election, and I'm sorry, but there has been. Oh God. Okay, for those of y'all who do not watch last week tonight, this past Sunday, John Oliver said 2 weeks ago I told you to look up in the sky and there was rock bottom. Last week I said there we are, we're down in the Earth's crust. This week all you can see is the plywood walls around us because we're in a coffin and we're dead. And that's the point in time we're at with the election. So where they had
but I
Alec
don't
Baldwin
think,
portrayal Donald Trump.
but I think it can still get worse.
Probably. But for those of you who did not see the skit, I would, show it during the show, but I think it's probably best that you give Saturday Night Live the audience they actually fucking deserve. Oh, it's been so long since I've been able to say that and mean it. Anyway, SNL has done 3 skits. Alec Baldwin's portrayed Trump, and Trump. I don't. This was I don't know, Friday or sometime last week. He came out and he said, I watched Saturday Night Live. Hit job on me. Time to retire the boring and unfunny show. Alec Baldwin portrayal stinks. The media is rigging the election. So I thought it would be fun to. Obviously, this is a lie, but I thought it would be fun to go through just this one tweet and ceaselessly mock this fucking moron for what he is. A
Go
fucking
for it.
moron.
I fully encourage mocking.
Did you? Yeah. Anyway, okay. He watched Saturday Night Live. That's awesome. But he watched a hit job. Now, those of you who don't know what a hit job is, that refers to an assassination. It's an assassination We're not talking about character assassination. He's not talking about that because whenever he says hit job, you know he's talking about being killed. And here's the thing. In a comedy sense or a musical sense or whatever, when something is killed, that's a good thing. It's a good thing. Like, for example, I'll use it in a sentence. I went to watch George Carlin perform last night. Even though he's been dead for 8 years, he still managed to kill it. Look at that. That means George Carlin did well. So if you're talking about a hit job in a comedic sense, it's talking about being ceaselessly funny, like it's amusing. That is the second time I have used ceaselessly today. But no, we're talking about it being funny. So the hit job by SNL was a comedy killing, and it was hilarious. So the first sentence is wrong. Second sentence, time to retire the boring and unfunny shows. SNL is in season number, what, 47, I think, something like that, so somewhere around that high. And their ratings are actually higher than they have been in, I don't know, the past 8-10 years. So the Obama administration has caused them to lose a lot of their viewership. Of course, when Sarah Palin ran as John McCain's running mate, they had really high viewership then, and I'm going to mention that again in a minute. Okay, anyway, the Alec Baldwin portrayal stinks. No, actually, Alec Baldwin.
Wait. Hold on. We have to say this. Thanks, Obama.
For what? Ruining SNL?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, thanks, thanks, Obama. But anyway, the Alec Baldwin portrayal stinks. For starters, it was not a portrayal. Alec Baldwin was not portraying Mr. Trump. He was uh, uh, imitating him. It was a caricature of Donald Trump, and it didn't stink. It was fucking hilarious, is what it was. Um, I I talk about my mother a lot on the show. My mom, God help her, voted for Donald Trump. I don't know why. I have tried everything I can to convince this woman that that was a dumb choice, but she voted for Trump. That's fine. I respect it. I'm not going to judge my mother for voting for Trump. But I got my mom, in fact, the day she voted, because she had to vote by mail, for various reasons. Anyway, I got her to watch the SNL skits, and she laughed her ass off continually, nonstop. Actually, I would say nonstop, but the only time she stopped was when I was switching the videos. Okay, my mom voted for Trump and laughed her ass off at the portrayal that Alec Baldwin did. Now, I shouldn't say portrayal, but whatever it was, and it was hilarious. She loved it. So if my mother, a Trump voter, enjoyed it, I think Mr. Trump could enjoy it too. So finally, the last sentence, the most important one, even the one that the president told him yesterday he needs to get over. And oh God, I wish I had thought about this ahead of time. The president told Mr. Trump he needs to quit whining, and that if he is incapable of having someone make a joke out of something he said or the way he acts or whatever, and mocking him, you know, then he needs to not be president. And it's true. It is the truth. This man has got no business being president.
Wait. We have to say it again now. Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, actually, thank you, Obama. I'm gonna miss that man.
See,
I'm gonna miss him so much.
Together.
I really am. I'm going to miss Obama. In fact, you know what? If there was ever a president that we were going to give a third term to, I say give it to him. But just, you know what? Do it on like a month by month basis until we can figure out what to do with Trump and Clinton, because we're doomed. I'll be honest, we're doomed either way. It doesn't matter who votes what at this point in time. We're doomed. America's dead. Now, I will make a suggestion, and I am actually copying this from Keith Olbermann. Republicans, please do not vote for Donald Trump. If you disagree with what he has to say, if you disagree with what he said, especially his freely admitted groping of women the 60 or some odd women over the years that have come out and said that he has sexually assaulted them. If you don't like what he has to say, if you're aware of, just for example, his health care plan, which you can go look up. I wouldn't say who it was. I can't remember. John Green here on YouTube. The Vlog Brothers. John recently published a video talking about this. Donald Trump's health care plan is going to basically double. Okay, like for example, we have somewhere like around 18 million new Americans on. I'm sorry. Under Mrs. Clinton, we will have about 18 million new Americans on healthcare plans. Mr. Trump will lower that down to about 30 million that will be lacking their health coverage. He's going to basically ruin Medicare and Medicaid and a lot of other stuff, but whatever.
It's not like, people could die or have life-changing illnesses that aren't treated, or I don't know. What else could happen?
It actually will be people dying. I mean, that's the truth. I wish I could remember off the top of my head the group that actually looked at what he is proposing, but it's going to cost the taxpayers quite a bit of money, and that's on top of the, I think, $17 trillion it's going to cost, billion, whatever it was, to actually repeal the Affordable Care Act. So his replacement of it is going to cost even more money. It's a terrible idea. It's a terrible, terrible idea. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but no, just no. Like, for whatever reason, please just don't vote for the man. And I don't know what else to say. Now I'm not saying that Mrs. Clinton's a better option. I'll be dangerously close to saying that. I will admit that, and I, of course, have railed against her
I
for
will
a year and a half now.
say that. I will actually say that.
Well, okay. Look at it this way. Look at it this way. Compared to Jill Stein, who has actively denied scientific advancement despite being a doctor. Goddamn, being a doctor has denied scientific advancement and treatment and everything. And Gary Johnson not knowing even one leader of, a country or whatever. She's probably better. And I'm only saying probably because the reality is, if we're going, like having just said, Republicans, please don't vote for Donald Trump if you disagree with him. Look at it this way. If you can just bite your own tongue and deal with her, because we know at this point in time she's going to be president, if you can deal with Mrs. Clinton being president for 4 years, that's 4 years. 4 years to find someone who can beat her. 4 years, that's all it's going to take. We'll be fine for 4 years. I mean, like we've said before, the country is perpetually ready to just completely fucking collapse on itself. It always has been. It always will be. And I know earlier I said we're not doomed. It's really just going to be the same thing. Like it's more and more and more and whatever. But just I don't know, Nick. I really don't know at this point in time.
The weirdest thing is, I feel like if they put anyone else for presidency on the ballot, literally anyone else, any of the other Republican contenders, except, maybe not any of them, but over half of them could have beat Hillary. They could have just easily beat Hillary. People hate Hillary so much.
We could have had Bernie for president. And the funny thing is, I know a lot of people who are Trump supporters. A lot of them. Or they were until his recent things, like some of the ridiculous things he said lately. And you're like, well, we support Trump. That's fine. That's whatever. So please, if okay, look, I'm gonna go ahead and say this: if you like Trump and you're gonna vote for him, vote for him. If you like Hillary, you're gonna vote for her. If you like Stein or Johnson or any of the other 97,000 people that are running, vote for them. I don't give a good goddamn. Just be willing to own up to however you choose to vote. Like that's my thing. So whether we're doomed to either possibly Russia attacking us when Hillary's elected, which by the way they've already hinted at, and they've already been pulling the families of their foreign representatives home. So we're possibly doomed to being attacked by Russia then, or Donald Trump could piss off every country in the world. I don't know.
Here, I'll piss off Russia. Russia doesn't have the balls to attack the U.S. and it never has, and it never will.
Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka.
Russia is the bully of the schoolyard that doesn't know how to fight. It's just big and stands there.
Feeling.
Are we the Guardians of the Galaxy
Deep
now? Because I'm okay with that.
of me.
I'm okay with that. I will dance.
Girl,
I will
you
dance
just
right now.
don't realize
What you mean to me?
when you hold me in your arms so tight and let me know everything's alright. Boom, boom.
I have a
Look,
feeling.
at least we have. Okay, look, I'll be honest. For as much shit as I was pretending to give, yes, we've gone back to talking about Guardians of the Galaxy because I'm that kind of person. So as much shit as I give, Nick for liking Marvel and anyone for liking Marvel because DC is better. DC is better. DC's always been better. Become a Batman fan like a real comic book hero. But yes, we're gonna go back to each other for a minute because I'm talking about it because we have shit to look forward to. There is so much to look forward to. Like despite the election, like it's actually an interesting thing to me. Like for as much as I've been like, oh, well, we're doomed, we're gonna die and stuff like that. The reality is I'm actually looking forward to the election because this shit will be over and done with. It'll be done with. I don't have to worry about it anymore. It'll be fine. Just like tonight is the last debate. We're gonna be good. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. I really think that America will be okay.
We will be fine. America is more than one election. America is the election of crazy people that somehow get together and do awesome shit. That's what America is. It's just a collection of crazy nut jobs that get together and do amazing shit. And we're not the smartest, we're not the strongest, we're not the bravest. Well, actually, we are the bravest. You know
And the
why?
strongest.
Because we're the craziest. That's why. We are the craziest country in the world. And I'm okay with that.
But yeah, like we talked about the other day, there's a lot of stuff coming out next year. Actually, goddamn, before the year's out with, because we have, what is it, Doctor Strange is it November or December? It's November, right? Yeah.
I think, yeah, I think.
So we have, yeah, it is November. Okay, yes, Doctor Strange this November, and then just in time for Christmas, of course, because Disney, the new Star Wars movie, and then we're gonna have Guardians of the Galaxy sometime next year. All these cool things are coming out. So honestly, on today, the day of my daughter's wedding and the day of the last presidential debate, just know this. I know that Nick and we have talked a lot about the election, and we've been Mrs. Doom and gloom here about this. But the reality is, everything's going to be fine. Just go about your daily lives.
At worst, we have another Cold War. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Well, it could cut off cigars and rum again, but
We'll make our own. Let's see, what else? What else? Oh yeah, oh yeah. You know what else is great? You know what else is amazing today? That house we found. Yeah, and you know what's in America? That house. That amazing, amazing house. I know
You know
we
what
don't
else
have
is in America
pictures.
other than that?
Wait. I know we don't have pictures. I know people can't see it, but I just want to take a moment to just tell people to go look at this house. It is
But Nick,
amazing.
but Nick,
I was telling, hold on. I was telling Jonathan about it earlier, and he's like, "Why are you talking about this? What's so great about this house?" And then he actually went to look at it, and his reaction was amazing. It was just amazing.
but Nick,
He's like, "Why?
but Nick, we have
What?
other news to
What?"
talk about. Like, for example, the thing you probably heard about over the weekend, other than all the bullshit going around. Apparently, a Republican Party office in where was this? North Carolina was set on fire, and swastikas were painted on the outside. Now, I don't believe I have um, the graphic I wanted to use for this ready to go. I'm sorry about that. Uh, but this office, like I said, was set on fire and burned. You know, like all the signage and everything in there was ruined, totally ruined. Um, you're looking at, I don't know, a few $1,000s worth of just signs alone gone, plus all the paperwork and everything else. It's fucked. Okay. Uh, the most amazing thing is, of course, of course, of course, the fuck puppet decided to get on Twitter and blame it all on Hillary. Because why not? It's clearly Hillary's fault that it was burned to the ground. Well, not entirely to the ground, just kind of charred. Anyway, Hillary's response was that she was very sorry it happened, and that she hoped no one was hurt, and just general response like that. Basically, when you go low, we go high, which I love that phrase. But anyway, what happened within the next few hours is the local Democratic Party in this same county opened up a GoFundMe account, and they were asking for $10,000 to, help pay for the damages, try and pay for new signage and everything like that, because they want a fair election. They want everyone to be represented. And they raised, in about 4 hours or so, nearly $14,000. Like, they overwhelmingly shot their mark because people were willing to donate and help. And I gotta give it to these people. I really do. That is an amazing thing to do. Like, it was genuinely a faith in humanity restored for me type thing to know that that these two parties, which are normally at one another's throats, were willing to come together and help.
Wait, so what you're saying is that we can actually work together on things and
Yes,
make each other better.
yes, Nick. In fact, we
Wait,
shall
uh, are we
overcome.
on the right show? Or
No,
do we change? No.
no, it's just
What's
it. Okay,
what's happening here?
like I said, we're like what 3 weeks away, 2.5 weeks away from election day. In fact, today, speaking of the election today, I went through. Uh, did I mention that I did voter registrar training, Nick?
I'm not sure. Did you? I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
know
don't
you
know.
told me, but
I don't know if it did, but yeah, a couple weeks ago I signed up for a voter registrar class, so I can register. Well, I can't because the deadline's passed. It was earlier this month. But I could sign people up to vote. Get them registered, and I actually did a couple times. So I get to do that. It was awesome. But today I went to a poll worker training course. Basically, on election day, I'll be one of the people that helps, sign people in and processes ballots and everything. So that's what I get to do election day. Woohoo! Um, I'm I have taken a nosedive into this public service thing since I ran for public office earlier this year, and I gotta be honest with you, it's fun. It's actually a lot of fun. I
I
feel
I
really good
I
about it.
honestly don't know why. I honestly don't know why you haven't done this sooner. This is literally your calling. Like, from the moment that I've known you, this is what you should have been doing. From before I knew you.
It really does seem to be what I should have been doing all. In fact, uh, ages ago, and I think I've mentioned this before. Um, in fact, my mom and I were talking about this the other day because I don't remember what we were watching. Something it was 60 Minutes, watching 60 Minutes together, and they were talking to people that are basically in charge of our nuclear deterrence and everything. And my mom just kind of goes, Jonathan? I said, yes, ma'am. She says, you'd have been good at that. So and I said, what do you mean? That. Like, you should have gone to the military. And I said, I know. I should have. But because, again, I don't really talk about this that often on the show because most people think that I'm making this shit up. But years and years ago when I was in high school, which, fuck me, 15 years ago this year, um, I took the ASVAB test. I'm not going to explain what the ASVAB is. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you have to Google. Anyway, I was, like the 80th percentile range. I was one of the better ones in the whole fucking county that I live in. In fact, part of the state. Was apparently very good at military-based stuff, which makes sense, because I've been, I did reenacting, and I was like, since I was a kid, I have always loved military stuff, and I, for a very long time, actually wanted to go to West Point, and I had a teacher who gave us an assignment where we were supposed to write to a college, and like the little smart ass that I was, I chose West Point. Uh, Now, granted, I did bad in school because not because I didn't care, but because I cared a little too much and I was not being taught correct information. And there was numerous instances where my teachers would have something on their lesson plan, or I would catch something that was in a textbook or whatever, and I would acknowledge it. And in fact, I had one teacher who actually tried to get me expelled from school because she did not like the fact that I was correct. And it just happened to deal with military history. Um, I've always read a lot and everything, but anyway, um, I wrote to West Point. I actually wrote my own commendation letter because my father would not do it, my mother would not do it. Nobody I knew was willing, to write a letter to go along with this and say, yes, we think that Jonathan is capable of military service, because you have to submit your grades and everything else. So what I did was I took my own route here. I provided them my family's military records, or at least what I knew of, going back all the way to the fucking Civil War. Uh, so that's at least Civil War, World War One, World War Two, Korea, Vietnam, and then I had a cousin who was in the Navy around this time as well. So I sent that, my ASVAB scores, and I forget what else. There was something else I sent. But anyway, uh, the teacher basically kind of failed me on the assignment because she said that she didn't think I would ever really get a response. And so she offered me the opportunity to write to another school. And she said she was going to have to knock off, a huge chunk of my grade, like take me down from like back in my day. This was like on a scale of, like 2 to 100 was the perfect grade. She said she was going to knock me down to a 70. Uh, and whether it would get lower than that, she didn't know, but it would depend on the quality of the report that I turned in from the school. So I got to take a little bit extra longer. I wrote this other school. Now, this other school never bothered to respond to me. They never responded to me. And the day that she told me that it was finally due, I told her I never got a response. And she said, well, I'm just going to have to fail you. I'm sorry. I said, okay. But I handed her, the copies, everything that I had written this other college, and was just waiting for a response. The next day, I walked in her classroom because I had about a 2-inch thick envelope that I'd gotten that night from the United States Military Academy at West Point. On the top of this packet was a letter from the commandant requesting that I come to the fucking school and have a tour. I was the only student this teacher ever had who ever wrote to West Point who got a response. About 3 days later, I got one from the Virginia Military Institute, and then the day after that, every recruiter within about 100 miles began calling my house because I was fucking talented at figuring shit out. In fact, some friends that I used to do wargaming with, like we would do miniature wargaming, with little 2 inch high toy soldiers and stuff like that. Like we would recreate battles and everything, or just have our own imaginary ones. Uh, One of them was actually a student of Stonewall Jackson. Like he read everything he could about Stonewall Jackson, and I grew up reading about George Patton. Like Patton was my thing, and this person, their particular individual they cared about was Jackson. He's like, do you realize that a lot of the ideas you come up with in little battles like this is uh, tactics of Stonewall Jackson? And I said, no, but that doesn't surprise me because that was the same mindset that George Patton had. Now, I'm not saying that I would ever be a amazing military commander. It's just that apparently I was smart enough to do it, and I never did.
Yeah, I mean, uh, we both are. I also wanted to go into the military, but I couldn't go into the military for different reasons, obviously, because uh, you can't really serve in the military if you're disabled, which doesn't exactly make sense for officers, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know, generals aren't usually out on the field doing things, but it is what it is.
But yeah, speaking of the military, actually, we have a couple more things I want to get to before we end the show today. I want to talk about something that's been going on for a while. Actually, just the past 2 days. Um, I don't have the video of this. I intended to. Instead, we have a screenshot. For those of you who have apparently missed the news, uh, ISIS only has one city left in Iraq that they control. That would be Mosul. Now, if you have been around the past 14, 15 years, you know about Mosul. You know about some of the struggles that happened there. In fact, I know people who were there when our military was there. But Mosul has been controlled by ISIS for quite some time now. And like I said, this is the last city that they have full control of. Okay? Last city. I know. Isn't that weird, Nick, that I'm saying last city?
I mean, what's Trump gonna blow up?
I don't know. I don't know. Because for the past, goddamn 15 months, I think, he has been saying that ISIS is coming to kill us all. And sure, they might very well be coming to kill us all, but the reality is they only have one city left. And the problem with this is, normally, if there was any chance that we could wipe out the majority of ISIS, I would say turn Mosul into glass. I would be perfectly behind that because then you wouldn't have to worry about ISIS ever again. But the reality is that they are holding hostages there. The civilians in Mosul are held against their will for the most part, and because this is a situation like we had in Vietnam, where you couldn't tell who was good and who was bad unless there were a North Vietnamese army, uh, you can't tell who's who. So it's going to have to be house to house and business to business and so on, trying to find um, devices. But we do know that the majority of their forces are here. It's just going to take a pretty decent little siege period to get into the city and take control of it. But there are 60,000 plus Iraqi troops currently ringing the city. 60,000 people, at least, are around the city of Mosul. And the United States is providing air support, and it's interesting. Now, it's going to take a long time to completely clear Mosul of ISIS, but that's where we're at with, the danger to the world of the Islamic State that they are. That's where we're at right now. We're really close to taking them out, and I think that that's amazing.
I think one of the most interesting things about the Mosul offensive is that it's the first time that we really get a genuine test of Iraqi forces as a whole, because both the Iraqi forces and the Kurdish forces are fighting together in an attempt to retake Mosul from ISIS. And this may be the defining moment for Iraq. It's been a country that's been divided for ever since Saddam died. It's been divided far before that, of course, but perhaps, ideally, optimistically, maybe even naively hoping that this could solidify Iraq as a legitimate country instead of three different countries trying to coexist.
See, what I think is most interesting about it is a year ago, we were talking about how Iraq was no longer a single country. And the reality is, I genuinely think, politically, the Iraqis would rather be three separate countries, because you have Sunni, Shia, and then the Kurds, all of which are three different versions of Islam. Uh, and I think they would probably prefer to have separate countries and not have to worry about being clumped up, because that's actually been uh, one of the biggest problems that they have had, is that Sunni and Shia do not get along because okay, the most simplified way I can put this, uh, Sunni Muslims believe Muhammad was born on one day, and Shia believe he was born on another. These days are about a week and a half apart. That's literally what's caused the rift in Islam for almost its entire existence. That is a stupid, stupid thing to be arguing over, because look at Christianity. They all agreed December 25th. There you go. There you go. And there's more more denominations of Christianity than there are religions in the world. Think about that shit. But
Even
yet they
though
all
that
but they all
Even though December 25th is totally wrong,
yes,
but
entirely
that's
wrong.
besides the point.
But see,
That's
they're able to
besides.
come together and say December 25th. That's fine. Good for them. But no, the Muslims can't. But anyway, I was going to say, about a year or so ago, we were all saying that Iraq was essentially no more, and here it is. The Iraqis are coming together because they're tired of taking ISIS's shit. So if you ever, the next time you hear Trump, or anyone for that matter, say, well, where are the good Muslims? Where are they? They're in Iraq right now. It's the 60,000 soldiers that are surrounding Mosul because they're tired of taking ISIS shit. They're tired of being attacked. They're tired of listening to people say that Islam is all bad, and that Muslims are a waste of space, and all this other hateful shit that's been being said.
Yeah, and I mean, the situation in a lot of Islamic countries or countries with large Islamic populations aren't exactly great in any shape or form. They're often ruled by dictators. They're often ruled by tyrants. You have constant infighting, civil wars, or near civil wars, or the threat of a civil war is almost on the horizon in a lot of these countries because of the colonialism of Europe. When they drew the country lines, they didn't really pay attention to the old kingdoms or people that were there, and so it's a really weird situation, and that I don't think a lot of Americans or Westerners can genuinely appreciate or even comprehend in some levels. Um, and I mean, the war in Iraq was clearly a mistake. We never should have went there. The death toll is horrendous in Iraq, from the Iraqi point of view, and it's nearly caused this. Well, it did cause the civil war, and but maybe after all of this heartache and trouble, we can finally have something good come out of it.
Hopefully, But speaking of shit, and this is probably going to be the last thing we're going to talk about today. Um, Found out this morning that there apparently was a Democratic Party bus, and I mean, folks, we're literally ending on this one here. There was a Democratic Party bus in, I don't know, South Carolina, somewhere. I don't care where it was because it's some of those places where it doesn't matter. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It matters anyway. This party bus pulled out in front of a local O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and the driver gets out, and he walks over, and he opens a little valve or whatever, and this vehicle began literally dumping human waste into the street and letting it flow into a storm drain. And when they were done, they drove away.
Why?
Well, according to the Democratic Party, like the national headquarters, they have said that it was an accident and that it was never intended to happen. And they said that they were going to speak out to the charter bus company that was doing this, because this is not Democratic Party way to shit all over someone's street.
I don't mean to laugh because it's a horrible thing, but it really sounds funny when you say it like that.
Well, in a way, it is
It's
funny. I mean, it's not funny, because you're looking at untold amount of damage to the local water supply, because this is going
yeah,
into
yeah. I mean,
untreated,
don't get me wrong. This is a something you don't do. Don't ever do this. This
no,
is
no, 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 no.
bad.
Like, don't do it at all because it it it's it's it's
It's
contamination. I
bad.
mean, like, you could spread disease or whatever. Like, there's all kinds of things that could go wrong with this. So this is going to cost the people in this town uh, a lot of taxpayer money because they're going to have an environmental study, and
I
they're going to
hope
have to
they
do a lot of work.
sue the bus.
So good job,
Uh,
uh,
I
asshole
hope
driver.
they sue the bus company. I want a lawsuit against them. I want whoever was on the bus to maybe get sued as well. Just just all kinds. No, just no. Just
That's a fun way to end the show, though. I think, don't you think so?
I mean, it's far better than the bright, happy optimism we had before. You are the future Donald Trump.
Sure, we'll go with that.
I mean, I can see it now. You'll be Donald Trump. I'll be Bernie Sanders. And somehow I'll be put in charge of the U.S. Senate Budget Committee.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyways, uh, I mean, we had people working together, and then we had Iraqis coming together, and, Guardians of the Galaxy too. I mean, we had a lot of bright, happy optimism today. But we can't end
You
like
do.
that, you know?
Okay. You know what? We will end uh, on a note. As I've mentioned quite a lot lately, I'm involved in local politics, and I'm also involved in 4 separate groups locally. Um, Yesterday, the woman who took over our like visitor center here in town had a meeting, and it was my understanding that it was a public meeting. It is not. Apparently, it was the Main Street Advisory Board meeting, which I am not a part of. But I was at the meeting anyway, and I was invited to stay, which is fine. It's wonderful. I felt very out of place, but whatever. Anyway, this woman mentioned multiple times, that she needed some help at the visitor center and at the various events that the city has got going on. She needed some help. And I had, of course, offered to help because the groups that I'm a part of are interested in doing that. There's quite a few people who are looking to possibly help with anything around the city that they can. Never a bad thing. It's always a good thing to have people interested in helping you. So our negative note, to end the show on is I apparently pissed this woman off because I mentioned, the fact that I was interested in helping and that we had our, one of our local festivals this past week, or the weekend before last, and the visitor center was not open. There didn't seem to be anybody there. And the reason I know this is because from about 10:45 in the morning until, I don't know, 4:30, 5 o'clock that afternoon, I sat outside, with the local Democratic Party because surprised, I am the I am a precinct captain, so I sat outside talking to one of our city councilors and a county judge and some other people, and doing what I do best, trying to get people to register to vote. No one was here at the visitor center. Okay, so I mentioned this to this woman, and the look of joy and happiness and everything on her face just dropped. I mean, it was, just this smile to this all of a sudden, I'm gonna fucking kill you with your own eyeballs. Like just that level of anger. Um, and she says, well, I was here all day. I said, well, no, ma'am, it didn't seem to be that way. I'm not saying you weren't. I'm just saying that there was about 24 people who came to the door and knocked, and they never got a response. And she goes, well, I was here all day. And I said, okay, I understand that. I said, but that's why I'm asking. Do you need more people to be here? Like, is there anything you need, like a volunteer, or you need to hire someone, or what do you have going on? Because these groups that I'm involved with are interested in trying to help. And she goes, yes, of course I can, and I'll contact you. And I said, well, no, I certainly appreciate that, because I don't want anyone else to ever be upset because it doesn't seem as though someone's not here. Uh, I was not intending to be rude to this woman. I was not intending to insult her. I was not intending to attack her or demean her or claim she's doing a bad job or anything like that. But the reality is this woman lied to my face. She said that she was here. She said that her assistant was here. The assistant, as I found out later, 3 hours called me back finally. The assistant I'm sorry, no, it was more like 6 hours later. Anyway, the assistant, as it turns out, had been helping with the festival. So she was not actually in the office. And the woman who's supposed to be the office manager, who I'm talking about, was not there. And now she may have come in early that morning, and if she did, that's fine. There's no harm, no foul. But I saw her drive up in her vehicle and get out and walk to the door with her dog, unlock the door, put the dog inside, and about 2 or 3 minutes later, she comes back out and locks the door behind her and just walks off. I didn't see where she went, but she certainly did not come back into the office between that time where she let her dog out and I left to go home. So that's at least 2 hours between those 2 points in times. So this is maybe 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I left around 4:30 or 5. 10:45 till about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening, and no one was there. And this woman's telling me that she was there all day, and she promises me she was there all day. No, I don't like liars, and I especially do not appreciate being lied to my face. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this on the show because I know she'll never hear it. Fuck you. Okay, just fuck you. Um, I'll be sure and send people your way to help with the events that you asked me to help with. But as far as me being cordial to this woman, it's going to be at arm's length from now on because I've heard quite a few people say negative things about her. That she is off-putting, that she is two-faced, and that she's a bitch. And from the way she acted yesterday, I could see it. And I'll be honest with you, for what I know this woman is making, because it's not a hidden fact, per year, uh, she doesn't deserve it if she's going to act that way. And the way I was treated was very rude. Now, granted, I was a little rude to her. I probably shouldn't have confronted her, and I admit that was my fault. But I was not intending to. I brought it up as just as an example of the reasons I thought maybe she might be able to use some more help. So whatever, I'm done.
Yeah, that was the depressing note we needed.
Yeah,
People are
but
terrible.
but what? We're not going to end on that note. There's one final thing. Um, where to begin with this one final thing?
I I don't know. Like I, I mean, what are you gonna talk about? Are you gonna talk about, you know, the house and the horrors that lie within that we should buy? And in fact, our Patreon should be devoted to buying this house. I want to change the goals of our Patreon, not to improve the show, but to specifically buy this house so that we can do our show from the house. Because that would be amazing. And we leave the house exactly the
Hey
way it
Nick,
is. Yeah.
prepare yourselves. The bells have tolled. Shelter your weak, your young and your old. Each of you shall pay the final sum. Cry for mercy. The reckoning has come. Ha ha ha! Yes, that's what we're ending on today because yesterday was actually the first day of Hallow's End in World of Warcraft. So if you would like some updated gear, and I do mean updated because for example, Brewfest this year, killing Corin Dire Brew would reward you with eight, 10 item level items. Uh, this year for Hallow's End, it's already been fixed. It's 835 rings. So if you need a ring, you'll get it. If you need the sword, there you go, go get it. There is a new costume this year. It is a Grom Hellscream costume. There's quite a bit going on. So happy Halloween End from now until November 1st.
Yes. My eternal struggle to get the one horse is, you know, has begun once again.
Well, see, what you should do is have multiple characters. And by the way, to do it, you have to be, I think, 108, 109, somewhere around there. Like you have to be almost max level. Um,
No,
so if
no.
you're not,
I will do it with one character. It might
well,
take me 10 times as long, but I will. That's how I'm gonna do it.
what you should do is just make some alts and level them. But you know what you should do? Go ahead and do it. Get it over with.
No, I refuse.
But yeah, that's gonna be it for that. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you're watching us live on YouTube or Twitch, please remember to subscribe to whatever channel you're watching on. Please remember to like us on Facebook. Comment on our videos, share them. Um, Please, like Nick mentioned, go to our Patreon page. We're only asking for $1 donation. No, it is not going to purchase this monster house. It's going to be to help improve the show. Messages on Twitter.
I think we could get more money for the Monster House. I really do.
Probably. But the final reminder is, again, on Mondays. We're not going to be having the normal shows on Mondays. Sorry, those of you who are interested in doing that. It seems more interesting to try and do a little more, like having, like something fun, like Anime Music Mondays. So please remember, on Mondays, on Facebook only, it will not be on Twitch or YouTube. It's just going to be on Facebook. Tune in. Just enjoy yourself an hour of some amazing anime music, because there's a lot out there, and it's going to be fun to listen to it. Yay!
Yeah, I was listening earlier. It was really, really cool. It was good. It was good.
We had a little bit of Ariga and a bunch of stuff. Like there was I just randomly picked music. There was a couple things in there from Gundam, some Ghost in the Shell, Full Metal Alchemist, like just like easy picks, for the first one, something that people would recognize. But in the coming weeks, it's going to be a little more in depth. Like there's going to be some other stuff in there that you may not recognize, but it'll be a fun hour of programming only on Facebook. So please go to our Facebook page, like the Facebook page, and follow what we have going on there, and just keep an eye out for all of our broadcasts.
Yeah, and we'll check everyone out on Friday then.
And also speaking of our Facebook page, one more thing, one more reminder. If you're watching this live on YouTube or Twitch right now, the show, once it's ended here, will be edited. Like the intro and outro, ideally at some point in time, will be put on the live broadcast. No promises, but it will be edited. So if you have, so if you're seeing us on Twitch and you have never seen our intros and outros for the shows, please go to our Facebook page, check it out. Give it a look. Like it's posted there permanently. It's also the welcoming video on YouTube. So give us a look, give us a listen, and yeah, we'll talk to all of you Friday.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.